Sorcerers of Australia, we finally have got Gothic. Sorcery Contested Realm Gothic has finally arrived in Australia. These are gorgeous boxes. 2 weeks late, unfortunately. Don't quite know the reasons why. I think most of Australia will be getting their boxes over the next few days. Hopefully in time for Christmas. There might be a few stragglers between LGSs and forwarding. Whoops, I don't want to damage these boxes. I'm not sure what we're going to do with these boxes yet. Yes, if you've got to wait for your LGS to get your boxes, then forward on to yourselves, then you might be looking at next year. But I think Europe is still waiting on theirs. So here we go. We got a lot of these. I'm hoping... I'm hoping I can try and do a foil set. From what I've seen, the odds aren't great on 4 uniques. But depending on how we go, we might try. We've got 48 boxes. We're probably going to get into them all at some point. I kind of want to rush through them. I kind of don't want to rush through them. I've remained spoiler-free for the most part. I know about some of the hit rates, some of the curios, but nearly everything else I'm completely spoiler-free on. Because I went into Arthurian with quite a lot of knowledge of the cards, and it was probably because it was partly due to a small set as well. The box openings weren't quite as enjoyable. So I'm going to stay spoiler-free. These videos, well, at least the first couple, will probably be incredibly long because I'm going to read a few of these. Evo units have power +1. Okay, fair enough. I think this one's a double-sided. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm going to read a lot of these cards. I completely expect you to put me on fast forward. Because I imagine most of you watching have seen boxes opened by now. And will not necessarily want to hear me prattle on about cards that you've seen weeks ago. Hey, hellhounds. Yes, so put me on fast forward. At least until we get to probably box 2 or 3, we're starting to getting a lot of duplication around that point, I expect. Then we'll start breezing over a lot of the exceptionals and ordinaries, but uniques we'll stop and have a look at. There is a lot. It is a big, big, big set. The biggest set Sorcery has ever done. We do have a few tokens. We got some stealth tokens. We don't really see all the stealth tokens. And a new mechanic ward, which could be interesting. A lot of ward tokens. We've got skeletons on the back. Skeletons on the back. Little skeletons. Acting as a prevent all damage function. Interesting. We'll do a lot more reading of the mechanics when we get into these gorgeous packs. Now, Ian Miller art on the box. Crazy, crazy detailed work on the box. Magnetic box. You can convert it into a deck box if you like. It feels a shame to throw them away. So maybe we can use them as storage boxes. Or shipping boxes. Maybe, don't know. Get that old magnetic box clasp there. We do have our dust coat in the bottom, which is nice. We have run out of dust. Not even had enough to get the last round of promos. Hopefully we can now. Okay.
And here we go.
First time cracking one of these. Oh, are they going to be painful packs? I thought these packs would be... Really? Alright, we're going to do it that way. That's how we do it. Hearing statistically about 1.5 unique foils per case. Sorry, swap. It's one of my favourite promos that we saw. Seen a lot of variation between that. I've seen 4 to 6 foil unique foils per case. We've seen complete foil packs. We've seen no foil boxes. We've got large distributions in unique non-foils and foils per box. I think the general base is about 6 of each, but you can get anywhere up to 10. Haystack. Very nice. First pack. Okay, there we go. First pack. Knocking it out of the park already with our first unique. Archangel Gabriel. Pretty nasty threshold. 5. Yeah. Airborne. Ward. Genesis. Choose an allied minion. They draw a spell which only they can cast. I assume that then gives them spellcaster ability for that turn then. Given they don't have the keyword, but okay, maybe. Overflow. Draw a site, you may play a water site. Okay, not too bad. Frogs. Ordinary site. Genesis. Pay 1, summon a frog. Okay, not bad. One of the curios is a frog. I do like it, but I don't want it. The curio, if we get one, and I think we've been lucky so far on curios, so I think we're either going to get 1. No, sorry, not 1, 0 or 2. I'm kind of hoping one of them's the Fallen Angel. I do like that one. We'll probably get the frog. Undesirables. Barring allies cannot enter this site. Okay. Interesting. Alright, a lot of sites, a lot of gorgeous looking sites. Twilight Blue, Genesis provides a bit of threshold. Okay. For a single turn, could come in handy. Ravenous Werewolf. I do know of the 7 curios. I will try and keep an eye out for them. But if given that I've not seen any of these cards before, if you see something odd against what you know it should be, let me know in the comments. Pay 1 to tap and ward nearby ally. Okay. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of new decks. There's a heck of a lot of new avatars. Anyway, I want to keep it moving a little bit quick. What was up with that first pack? That one opened really well. Yeah, a lot of new avatars, a lot of new potential decks, I think, as we slowly understand how each of these cards work with new avatars. And we've seen a bit of destruction to the Druid. Completely nerfing a lot of the Druid's power in the recent rule changes. Symmetric Suffering. Sacrifice 1 minion, or up to 1 minion, artifact aura. Opponent must do the same. Could be a nice little reset if you've got cheap minions to their expensive minions. Sea Witch. Spellcaster, and a submerged spellcaster. Wow, it's great seeing these cards for the first time. Granary Rats. But otherwise I'll be staring at each card for about 5 minutes, and I don't want to try and do that, but I also want to enjoy seeing these for the first time. Pay 1 to summon a skeleton. Okay. Similar to the villagers. Ian Miller again. Gift of the Serpent. Give it an allied lethal and draw a spell for 2. That's could come in handy. Displace. Teleport target minion, artifact or aura 1 diagonal step. Night Watchman, Genesis, and ward this site. again, could come in handy. Prevents damage. Profane Revenant has 0 power unless adjacent to an evil ally. 1 for 3. I think a nice deck around it would work well. Vandal Imp. Destroying artifacts. That's probably going to see a reasonable amount of play if we still get to see lots of artifacts in play. And then a Cursed Tower. Break all nearby wards. Okay. Assuming the Ring of Morrigan isn't completely destroyed by other artifacts in this set. And there we go. Forsaken Crypt. Look at the colours on that. Cast a ghoul from your collection to this site. Okay. Think we've got our first foil, finally. Getting a little nervous. Hopefully we can start out pretty strong. Necromancer. Now that was in the elite. I think we've only got 4 possible unique avatars. Yeah. Skeletons, yeah. And another elite. River Rapids. Once on your turn, push a minion. Connect. Oh, a lot of pushing. Yeah, I can imagine water's going to get pretty strong with all these push and pull mechanics. One-shot wizard. Genesis shoot protection. Oh, that deals 1 damage. Or gain spellcaster this turn. Okay. Wow, these sites are amazing. Desert Bloom. Okay, it's a similar site. Temporary Threshold on Genesis. Broomstick Witch. And there's a lot more cards with Spellcaster I'm seeing. Noisome Twosome. Deathrite, Summon a Skeleton. Okay. Willing Tribute, Sacrifice, Untap. Yeah, ooh, okay, that could be an ordinary. Search Party has +1 power for each search party in the cemetery. Could be okay. I've been hearing reports from people, though, that ordinaries foils seem to be quite difficult to find for some reason. Not sure if that's a good sign or bad sign. The first 4. Yeah, people have been getting a lot more elites. Not elites, exceptionals. Ghoul, no scene. Murder of Crows. Deal 1 damage to all enemy minions on the surface. Okay. You may cast a spell from your cemetery as well. When banishing afterwards. Double. Could be okay. Blessed Well with a ward. Okay. It's gonna be a long video. Guardian Angel. Airborne, Genesis fly to a weaker allied minion and ward it. Okay. Kind of similar to the Wither Wing protection. Could come in handy. Slobbermore. What the heck is that? Genesis sacrificed a minion, or Slobbermore deals 4 damage to you. Not feeling that one just yet. Thin Ice. Oh, okay. At the end of your turn, if minions atop this site total 5 or more, submerge them all. Ooh. That's where a lot of the pushing mechanics come in then. Okay. Faith Incarnate has 2+ power for each ward in the realm. Okay, that could get pretty big. Spore Sprouts. I was going to say Space Sprouts. Genesis can cast a minion with 2 or less power to any site this turn. Some shenanigans. A crawler. Projectiles fly over the crawler. Okay, that's a new mechanic. Landmass. Draw a site. You may play a land site. Shoot a projectile that deals 1 damage. You may cast a... Okay, there's a lot of recursion going on. Lead works. Genesis until your next turn. Sites are silenced while nearby. Okay. It's a new smokestacks variant. Okay. Tribal water. An ally submerges target minion it's nearby. Zap. Deal 1 damage. Nice and straightforward. Stinging kelp. Deal 1 damage to each minion at target site in this body of water. Ugh. Okay. Lots of nasty water things I'm seeing. Disabled unless adjacent to an allied spellcaster. For a 4/4... No, I'm not feeling that one too much at the moment. Smite. May be cast by any ally. Strike target adjacent enemy. If it's evil, banish it. And a moss troll. An ordinary giant rock, right? Stealth. It loses stealth if it moves. Yeah, okay, like, assuming... Does it gain it back? It kind of makes sense if it gained it back after it moved, but maybe not. Could be a curio, knowing Eric and his love of trolling. Maybe we'll park, because I don't have any frame of reference yet, so what the correct one should be. So, unfortunately, there was a price increase for Gothic. We did see a big pack increase back to 36 packs, so that explains it, but it is a little on the costly side for people just getting into sorcery. But the quality is looking pretty good. That is a unique peace offering. Unique beast bears a fragile accord. Airborne. Whenever it enters another player's site, you may give them a peace offering. If you do, their units can't attack you on their next turn. Okay. Snallygaster. Just a 3/3 with extra movement. But I don't know if some of these reports on 15 foil packs and no foil boxes or no unique cards in a box, I don't know if that was intentional. It doesn't feel to me that that should be intentional. So I don't know if there has been some production hiccups along the way. Okay, sneaky foil, Gravedigger. The foils, I don't know what they've done. They've either sharpened up the images a little more, but it's probably the foiling technique, because they used to look a little cloudy. So I think whatever they did around when Dragonlord came out, they've continued with. So they look a lot better than the early cards from Beta and Alpha. Shoggoth. Submerge and Voidwalk. Okay. Deal a 1 target damage to a nearby minion and untap it. Okay, could be okay. Oh, I can already feel the temperature in the room increasing with all the lights on. Play one, someone's going to... Okay, we've seen that. Something like that. Yeah, a very hot day in Victoria today. And I can't really run the aircon whilst recording because that would be really annoying for you. River of Blood. All healing is halved. Okay. Failed mutation. Can't be targeted or damaged by magic. Monster Morphosis. Disable target nearby minion until your next turn. At the start of that turn, you may transform it into a monster from your hand or a horrible hybrid. Depends what you got in your hand, I guess. That could be a pretty big jump in power. Sacred Stag. Ward and a Death Rite. You may ward at this site. Okay. Bone Spear, sacrifice, and undead to shoot a projectile from its location that deals 3 damage. I could see that one being a bit sneaky from nowhere. We get the Monks. Can't be modified except by ward. Okay. Wild Fanatic, we've seen. We did another new Ordinary Flayer. Deal 1 damage to each other nearby unit. For a 4. Not sure about that one. A 10-tongue slug. It does absolutely nothing. It's just a big old slug. Alright. Forsaken. Void Walk. Must be cast to an outer column. 2 for 3. You could be quite nice. Trial Fire. May be cast by any ally. Deal 3 damage to target nearby minion. Also somewhat handy. Pith Imp. Airborne. Genesis. Steal a random spell from your opponent's hand until it leaves the realm. That could be annoying. Especially if your opponent's playing... What's that? Duplicator. If you've only got 2 cards in your hand, you can steal one of them. Gossamer Ghost. Stealth. That is also a curio. Completely different artwork with a... like a ghost behind a window. Vampire Bats. Yeah, fairly straightforward Vampire Bat. And a Drowned. Submerged. Must be cast submerged. Okay, that's an interesting take. That's why you've got so many new spellcasters then. Wow, we're not even a third of the way through because I'm too busy staring at cards and yapping away. And look, more new cards. Witching Hour. Evil Spellcaster and Spirit Allies gain Airborne and +1 power. What is that? A Molten Mar. 2 fire threshold. Genesis. You may cast a Hellhounds from your collection. Okay. Corrupt a Freak. At the end of your turn, deal 2 damage to this site. As long as it's not on your own, that could be quite nice. A Falling Star. Elite. Lasts 3 of your turns. When the star falls, you may summon a minion from your hand atop of an affected site. It strikes each other unit where it lands. Okay. Gift of Froggo. Summon a frog. It is also a curio with a little red bow. Dreadwing. 5/4. Airborne. Genesis. Strike your avatar unless you discard a card. Okay. I'm sure there must be a plan for that. Horrible Hybrids. Oh, I think I saw Ian Miller selling that artwork at one point. We've seen the Open Grave. Revered Revenant has 0 power unless adjacent to an allied ward. Again, probably... Oh, okay. Why is that not... Are they really tweaked the foiling on this? That's only foiled on specific bits. Yeah, it's only around the edges. Is that how... Because, yeah, that's fully foiled. Well, apart from, obviously, the main character, but they've treated most of the background as the main character as well. That is very, very interesting foiling. I suppose it helps show off the main bits now. Wow, okay. A little surprised. I was expecting a lot more foiling. Raise a Militar. Summon a skeleton totem to each allied site. We got border militia and things like that. That's similar. Den of Evil. Next evil cast this site costs 1 less. Okay. Wiccan tools. Sacrifice. Draw a spell. Bearer becomes a spellcaster, and their spells require no threshold. Could be alright. And an Instigator Imp. Genesis, make two enemy minions at target nearby location fight each other. That could be fairly good as well. Alright, so 3 foils down. 2 uniques. A Zeppelin of Zealots. Ward airborne while warded. Okay. Raise. Ally destroys a site. It occupies and all artifacts. Fair enough. Fertile Earth. Okay, it just generates 2 threshold. Alright. And Peacemaker Arbalist. Bear has ranged. Strikes deal 1 more damage to units for each of the following evil artifact bearer spellcaster void. Okay, it could deal a fair amount of damage. A Penitent Knight, the old Dark Souls themes going on. Zombie Horde, can't move to defend, just a big 5/5. Barrow, right. Barrowing. 2, sacrifice a skeleton token, summon this minion from your cemetery. Okay. Muddy Pigs. Deathrite, heal 2. Okay, straightforward. Sewer Rat, maybe cast under 80 sites. 1/1, yeah, fair enough. Buried Alive, maybe cast by any ally, burrow, target, adjacent minion. Removal's always good. A Vast Desert, okay, standard desert, but we get a new one. We get a Lure. Ally attempts an enemy minion. Of course it's water. Of course it's pushing things around. A Grief Larvae. Deal 1 damage to the site. Burrowing. Could be annoying after a while. Mesmerdemon. I wonder what that's going to look like in foil. Genesis. Tap target adjacent enemy minion. Oh god. Move it 1 step closer. Wow. Flaming Skull. Airborne Firecaster. Twisted Fire Spellcaster. Wow. So much pushing. Kroll Morlocks. Burrowing and avoid walk. Okay. Fatality. Kill target wounded minion. Could be okay. Town Priest. This is one I have seen before. I think it was spoiled somewhere. That looks pretty freaky. What's going on there? Mismanaged Mortuary. Elite site. Flooded. Treat your opponent's cemetery as yours. Okay. Plague Rat. 1/1 with lethal. Okay. Oh, Bromar. Wow. Martyrs of Tomorrow. Deathrite Ward and allied minion. Okay. Static Servant. Genesis. Each other unit here takes 1. So. Oh, more frog-like cards. Slimy Mutant. Submerge. 3 transform an ally with Submerge into a Slimy Mutant. Could be good. There's those Hellhounds again. Just a 3/3. And that's another sneaky little foil there, because they're not shining as much. That's why you can't tell they're coming. Another exceptional target. It doesn't say target, it just says any ally gains 3 power this turn and you heal 3. Nothing too big though. There's a troll. We do have a troll comparison. Savannah Townfolk. Just a 1/2. Why? Don't know. Screamer, now we've seen, and Search Party we've seen. Okay, let's have a quick look at Troll. It looks like a rock. It is a rock. Maybe it's not a rock because it moves. They look the same. And they look the same. Alright, so we have a point of reference now, I think, in case Eric sneaks in the strange troll. But yeah, we've got 7 curios, and there is a bit of a theory floating around. Why does this pack feel really thin? That's in relation to the 7 deadly sins. Reasonable amount of cards there. That should be alright. Kiss of Death. So yes, if it's the 7 deadly sins, then we have seen all the curios already, which feels a little strange given it's such a big set and going to be around for another 12 months. I thought we might see, if we wanted to stick to the 7 deadly sins, maybe we should have got something like Arthurian Legends, where we get 2 subsets of curios. Whenever a minion dies nearby, your opponent loses 1. Could be a little annoying. Desecrated Kite. Airborne at the end of your turn, deal 1 damage to this site. Oh, site. I thought it was itself. If it deals damage to itself, it doesn't make any sense. Torch and a Pitchfork. Bearer has nearby ordinary allies with +1 power. Virgin in Prayer. Genesis Ward and allied minion. Okay. What's this? Autumn Bloom. Okay, it's similar to the others. Provides temporary Genesis, but does look very nice. Ice Shards. 3. Shoot 3 projectiles. 1 at a time. Each deals 1 damage but melts before the 3rd step. Okay. Something similar to... yeah, I can't remember the name of it. I'm sure there's another ice one that does something similar. Novice Necromancer. Spellcaster, and Genesis summons a skeleton. Gift of the Raven. I think we saw that before. We've seen a Zap before. Entombed. 2 for 3. Okay. So. Makeshift barricade. Why is he scared of that chicken? If 1 or more allies here would take damage, prevent it. If the damage was 3 or more, the barricade breaks. And Silent Hill. What does it do? Genesis. Until your next turn, minions are silenced. Well, could have probably guessed that. Wow, we're still not even a third of the way through. Everybody is probably falling asleep while watching this video. Carrionet. Summon an undead minion from the cemetery to a nearby location. Okay, depends how big we can get with our undead minions. Could be good. Driftwood Marrows. Be gone. Banish an evil minion. Anywhere. Okay, could be okay. There we go. That's new. Unique. Young Master Damien. Genesis, summon 2 ghouls from your collection. They can't die while nearby. Okay. That sounds like it could be pretty strong. Blessed Village. Just village with ward. Flame Strike. A T affected fireball. Cardinal direction, deal damage to each unit. 3-1-1-1. Okay. We've seen an overflow before. That is still new though. A cursed desert breaks wards on Genesis. A little pentagram going on there. Undesirables, I think we've seen. Ravenous Werewolf, we've seen. Holy Warrior. Twilight Bloom, we've seen. Okay, we're getting into a bit of duplication already. Profane Revenant. Yes, and a Hillside Chapel. Okay, we are speeding up a little earlier than I thought we would. But finally, at the third of the way mark. Mountain Peaks. Alright, just a 2 threshold site. Is that our first avatar of the box? I think it is. Persecutor. No, it's not. It's the second. We did get another exceptional, didn't we? Persecutor. Centipede. Genesis target adjacent site is silenced, provides no threshold whilst it is in the realm. Ooh. Still get mana, but you don't get thresholds. That could be a little bit annoying if your opponent, well, annoying for your opponent if they're a little threshold screwed and need certain sites. Minions have tap game 1. Okay. Nice little mana speed up. Troubled Town. Genesis, cast a Townfolk. Can't remember if there is any good Townfolk for that to work. Gift of the Wolf. Kind of feels like that might be a curio if there's more that turn up, but that's just left-right shifted. Sea Witch, yeah. Frogs, yeah, we're seeing Granary Rats. Van Limp, yes. Return to Nature. Ignited. Ghoul. Murder of Crows. Ah, that's something new. A Lesser Blood Demon. Genesis lose 2 life. Is that worth it though? If we're trying to go for a super aggro deck maybe, but don't know. Hey, there we go. Into the middle stack. That is new. The Base of Babel. Yeah, you can build the Tower of Babel by playing the Apex atop this. I assume your opponent could prevent you, so I don't quite know what you get for building it. Thumb screws, I'm sure we'll find out at some point. Whenever a nearby avatar casts a spell, they lose life equal to the number of spells they've cast this turn. Call of the Sea, elite, minions adjacent to target water site. Of course it's a step card. Then submerge your minions there. Alright. Pigs, yes, some pigs. Tribute. Martyrs. Crawlers. Landmass. Moss Troll. Put the troll to the side. Screamer. Didn't see anything obvious. Flaming Skull. Pith Imp. Let's have a quick look on the back. That all looks normal. So it looks like we can start speeding up a little bit because the ordinaries are duplicating now. But Enduring Faith is one we haven't seen. Warden allied minion. Until next turn, it takes damage for its nearby allies instead. Okay, new bodyguard spell. Shallow Grave. Discard top 2 spells. Don't see the point of that at the moment, unless there's some deck stacking that you want to try and get around. Genesis rolls. Wasn't there? What was this in? This is in Elden Ring. That's the thing. Yeah, I remember these. Elden Ring. Genesis, roll forward 2 steps, striking another unit. Okay, yeah. Greater Blood Demon. Genesis, lose 4 life. Maybe a rush deck. 4 for 6. It's pretty big. Can do a lot of damage. I do see a foil. We've seen that. Have we seen? I'm pretty sure we see the Apex Algae Bloom. Sorry, Algae Bloom. One-shot Wizard. Broomstick Witch. The Twosome. Hey! It's starting out with a unique foil. Box 1. Yog-Soggoth. Occupies all locations safely, is banished without 5 voids, ignores the abilities of sights. Its damage is so big it doesn't fit in the box properly. I assume that's supposed to say 10. It almost looks like 0 because the 0 is the only thing showing in the box, but I assume that's supposed to be a 10. Do we get any extra info on you on the back? Not really. I don't know what I'm looking at, which is often the way with Brian Smith's art for me. Yes, I do struggle to understand his mindset at times. Don't get me wrong, I do like his artwork. I just don't get it. Baptized. Oh, we're getting a few new ones. I'll have to come back to them. I was too busy thinking about the unique. Come back to them when we see them next time. Wave of Eviction. Don't you dare say anything about steps. Allied water site overflows in a cardinal direction. Floating sites there this turn and carrying away enemy 1 step at a time. Wow. It's just complete board movement. Every water spell. Forlorn Keep. Genesis. Cast a Penitent Knight from your collection. Indiana Jones. Last Crusade. Holy Nova. Deal damage to each enemy at affected locations. You may break a ward to center this spell on that location instead of the caster. Okay. Interesting. Your opponent might not know that's coming. A unique Ian Miller site. Innsmouth Dock. Once in your turn you may lure an adjacent minion to step here. Of course, it's water. Of course. Tribute. We've seen Desert Bloom, we've seen the Crawler, we've seen the Landmass. Ghostfire, I think might be one we skipped over. Shoot a projectile. No, I think we might have seen that one. We've definitely seen that. We've seen the Larvae. We've seen the funny Mesmer Demon. Bound Spirit that I still don't get. Smite. And a Shoggoth. Submerge and Avoid Walk. I don't remember. No. We might have seen that one. But good start. Good start with a unique foil. Those Who Linger. Deathrite. Summon a ghoul. I thought they were vampires for a second, but okay. Ghoul. From your collection to this site, it has Deathrite. Summon a skeleton. Okay. You get a bit of bang for your buck, I suppose. 6. No more Ian Millers. The Gibbous Night Gaunts. Just a 3/3, but it has Void Walk, which is quite nice. Fallen Angel, that is the curio I want to get. So now at least I have a point of reference to what the original looks like. Blade Dancer. I think that's an elite rarity, based on what people have been saying. What do you do? After her first attack each turn, a Blade Dancer may take a step. When she does, she may attack a unit there. Okay, is that kind of battle magey? You want to be aggressive with it? No, we've seen that one. Not sure. Not sure. I'm sure we'll come across some cards that interact with it. Detonate. Destroy a minion or artifact you own or control. It explodes, dealing 3 damage to each unit at that location. For 1, that's... I can see that coming in quite handy. For 1. Survivors of the Savara. Did we see another Savara card? There's some lore there that I'm not familiar with. Lash, Forsaken, Cemetery Rat, Gift of the Serpent, and Displace. Again, people kind of thinking that could be curio potential, sneaking in some different images in the frames. And Necropotence. Give a nearby allied undead 3+ power for 1. Nope, not bad. Not too bad. Flagellant. Whenever he takes damage, you heal 1. Oh, wow. More Brom art. Intrepid Hero. Lethal to Evil. I'm liking seeing some of this old school art. Lord of Fear. Enemies can't defend alone. Okay. Angry Mob. Genesis. Kill target adjacent unique or elite minion. I can understand why it's a 4/3. Foul Bones. Bless. Ward a nearby minion or sight for 1. Pretty good. Undesirables. Second Wind. I don't think we read this one. Did see it. Allied minion takes a step. And it's not water. It's you may cast this spell from your cemetery, banishing it afterward. Okay. That's not too bad for 1. Night Watchman. We've seen the Den of Evil. Pith Imp. Gosma Ghost. Vampire Bats and a Drowned. Alright. Okay. What are we? 4 and 5. We will have a proper count at the end, because we will need to keep track of these things, just to see how we're doing. Order of the White Wing. Ward. If a minion would be summoned nearby, and it wasn't cast from hand, banish it. Maybe. Onslaught. This turn, allies gain +1 power. Charge. And can't be immobilized, silenced, or disabled. It costs you 3. So it does limit what you can do to give things charge, but could be. Yeah, I think there's a lot more potential for very aggro-y decks. A Peculiar Port. 2 Water Genesis. Cast a Horrible Hybrids from your collection. Very Dagon-like. Pilgrim's Shrine Elite. Ward. When a minion leaves here, transfer this site's ward to it. See which. Version in Prayer. Thought I saw a foil, but I don't think so now. Ice Shards. Bone Spear. Enraged Familiar. Raised Militar. Weakened Tools. The Imp. Buried Alive. And a Vast Desert. Right. More new cards in this elite exceptional slot. Yeah, we're getting so many. Dredge. Surface everything at target water site and summon 2 skeleton tokens there. Bladder Blimp. Airborne. Deathrite player loses 1 for each nearby site they control. Bind Evil. Disable target nearby evil a minion until adjacent spellcaster taps to release it. And Crawling Congregation. Projectiles fly over this and other adjacent allies. Ooh. Interesting. Good old Drew Tucker. I still have the painting behind me. Can't see it though, because I don't have a face cam. I really do need to go buy another one. Flyer. Lure. Of course, yes, it's step related. Trial by fire. Freeze. Oh, there's the... yeah. Zavara Townfolk. And Chapel. So we might only see a couple more non-foils and foils, but we could also be only around halfway. Mimics! Yeah, looks like a typical mimic. As you summon this mimic, you may transform a carryable artifact into it under your control. There is a foil. You get a saviour, which would be an exceptional. Pay 1 to ward a minion that was summoned this turn. Okay, only this turn. And a black cat has 9 lives. Determine opponent's random outcomes. I'm sure we can... it's a 4 for 1, but it's got 9 lives, so it's kind of a 4 for 9. I'm sure there's a few ways that might be abusable. Not if the outcome's the same each time. There's a frog, regular frog. Dreadwing, and a 10-ton generic slug. It just does nothing. What does it say? It bade no roar, but crept as stone. What's that? Of chilled waters, winters, helped. Heaps. Oh my god, it's my eyes are so bad. Heaps is 1. Roth, Belly, Oerberg, Bask, and Bone till time herself was unbegun. That's why I don't read them. Sitting here trying to look at everything. Can't read it. Can't read it at all. Zombie Bruiser. Pay 4, sacrifice a skeleton token, summon Zombie Bruiser from your cemetery. Maybe. Swaps. Gravediggers. Angel Ascendant as airborne and +1 power wide warded. Given warding seems to be fairly easy, it could be alright. Sewer Rats. Plague Rats. Ignited. Ghouls, Murderer Crows, Lesser Blood Demons, Noxious Corpse. Okay, I think we didn't look at that last time, but it's just a 2-2 with lethal. And Baptize, ward each allied minion at target water site. Of course. Of course. So what do we say? 4 and 6 now. Should see at least 2 or 3 more non-foils. We could be at our limit for foils. More snails. Snails and slugs and frogs. Once on your turn you may banish a dead minion. Similarly, a snail becomes a copy of that minion. Slimy Mutant we've seen. Hellhounds we've seen. We've seen the Kite, we've seen the Crawler. There is another foil. The Ferryman's Coin, which we have not even seen as a regular non-foil. Banish coin, gain 1, or banish up to 3 cards from any cemetery. Is that 7? Should be 7 now, I think. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So like I said, anywhere up to 10 is possible. Well, even 15 if you get one of those all foil packs. Although I can't remember if I've seen if that was the only foils, just that single pack, or whether you get single foils in other packs as well, so you end up with 20 plus foils. Exhume, unburrow everything at target land, site, and summon 2 skeletons. Okay. Harvest Festival we've seen. Oh, duplication of avatars. I know is a unique. At the end of a turn, take the step between the top and bottom edges of the realm and gain stealth. Okay. More tricky things from water. Ravenous. Holy Warriors. Cemetery Rats and a gift to the servants. But yes, from what I've seen, 6 is the bare minimum unless you get a really bad error box. I was skipping over that. I've not seen it before. Clay Golem. 4/3, Deathrite, play your top site to an adjacent void or rubble. Okay, gives you mana speed up, so that could be alright. Eerie Coral, what is that depicting? Looks kind of like a skull. Bearer has +1 power and is a water spellcaster. Oh, that's the base of the Babel again, so we don't need to see that one. And what is that? Sphinx Sarcophagus Elite Site recites a riddle of rhyme. Try saying that fast. Genesis, banish 2 identical spells from cemeteries to draw a spell. Okay, well that goes in the duplicator deck then, I assume. Detonate. We've seen Angry Mob, Displace, Night Watchman, Imp, Return to Nature, and a Grief Larvae. Final stack of a very, very long first look. Starting to think this second video will be a little quicker given how the what is wrong with me? How the ordinaries are looking. Bullwhip. Once per turn, bearer may deal 1 damage to a target adjacent minion for 4. That feels a little... I suppose it's a non-tap, but it feels a little expensive. Exhume. Sensu of the Fang. Bearer has +1 power and is an air spellcaster. Yes, so I feel like we're going to be speeding up a little bit sooner than I thought. Stargazer, Elite Mortal. Genesis, draw a spell for each minion in the void. Ooh, okay. Definitely makes those void decks a possible option now, because I didn't know that card existed. Torch, yes. Snally, yes. Gossamer Ghost is the regular. Vampire Batch, Drowned. And Militar. So yes, if we're getting lots of duplication on the ordinaries, we can go a lot faster for next video. 4 fat frogs. Summon 4 frogs. Does what it says on the tin. We've seen those 2. Ironclad. I believe that's an elite as well, based on what we know. Take 2 less damage. Oh, yeah, I've already seen... Yes, I have seen that card before with use from the harp, which could make you very difficult, very difficult to hit. Lesser Blood Demon, Baptize, and a Trial by Water. Alright. It's been a few packs now since we've hit anything. About time we did again. Didn't feel like a foil. Fields of Pixis. Sight in front is silenced. Fair enough. Bitten. Genesis. Strike target nearby evil minion. Deathrite. Summon a skeleton. Under your opponent's control. Nomo Monitor. That is strange looking. Submerge and Void Walk. Hemo Goblet. Oh, that's a long one. Once on your turn, you may fill the goblet by sacrificing a minion here or empty it if it's full. When you empty the goblet, you gain mana or heal life equal to its power. Yeah, that could be alright. Yeah, seen. Undesirables. Gift of the Wolf. A zap. Entombed, we get the chicken and a hungry werewolf. Well, there's no hit in there. Death Knight. Other undead allies have +1 power. Okay. Consecrated Ground. These will be the non-double-sided versions. Hauntless Head. There's a headless haunt and a hauntless head. Exceptional Spirit. In search of some body. Spellcaster Void Walk at the start of your turn. A hauntless head teleports to top of random site or void. I thought it was going to teleport to the headless haunt. Cerebrum. Elite Angel. Airborne and Ward. Taps you to projectile that deals 4. Sea Witch. We get some rats. Holy Warrior. Shoggoth. And the Cursed Tower. Now, come on. Surely we got some more uniques or foils in us. Been a very slow side of the box. We've seen the Ferryman's Coin. Estranged Loner. Deathrite. You may summon horrible hybrids from your collection to this location. Don't know. Stygian Archers. Ranged. When it kills an enemy, summon a skeleton where it died. Okay, that could be annoying. That is just an elite. Bureau of Occult Control. Players must pay 2 to access a collection or cemetery. Yuck. That could be nasty. Anything new? I thought again that was a foil, but no. Lash. Any sneaky curios? No. That's new. Dark Alley. First minion that enters here gains stealth. It should be you, I guess. Was it the first No, just the first minion, not the first each player. Vesper Swarm. Airborne. Once on your turn, may fly to a wounded minion. Okay. Yeah, so you could ping something for 1 and then have it teleport over there. Yeah. Abyssal Assault. For each point of its power, an allied monster may deal 1 damage to a unit in the square near it. Fair enough. Seraphim. That's just an elite. End of your turn, transfer nearby ward onto a nearby minion or site. Second Wind, Virgin in Prayer, Vandal Imp, Ignited. Wow, we have gone so many packs now. I know we did start out strong. Something on this side, please. Gnarled Wendigo. This costs 2 less to each minion you sacrifice at its summoning location. Maybe. Ghost Town. Okay. Genesis gain 1. Okay, it's a new tower. But it has no threshold. Rowdy Boys. Untaps after striking an undead. Okay. Dr. Demetrius Unique. Finally we see something on this side. Once on your turn, Demetrius may ward another adjacent minion for 2. Undecided. Hybrids, Flyer, Murderer Crows, Buried Alive, and some larvae. That might be the end of it. Water Nymph. Wreathed in Righteousness. Ward all minions at target location, then deal damage to minions at affected locations. Okay. Invigorate, finally. Oh no, we get back to back. Divine Intervention. Unique magic. Return from Death's Door to 1 life. Oh, okay. Now, I didn't think we'd ever see something like that happen. You can get out of Death's Door. I hate to be the person who's playing it. They do that and then go back to full health or something. Okay, I am surprised about that. Regular frog. Zombie horde. There's a foil. Exceptional base of Babel. We can't get the top half. That's the third this time for this box. But we already hit a unique, so not too bad. Not too bad. Troll. Put it aside. A quick look. Yeah, like I said, I'm sure Eric at this point is just trolling us completely and making us look at trolls, and there's absolutely nothing to look for. Like I said, don't know if I'm going for the foil set or not. It's going to be incredibly difficult. Ah, Desecrate. Finally. This is another curio without the pentagram. Possibly. I preferred it. I would have preferred it the other way around, to have the pentagram as the curio. Oh, bronze. But I think I know why they picked it that way, because the demonic tutor had the pentagram airbrushed out from magic. So they probably want the joke is that the uncensored version is the common one. Dormant Monstrosity 7/6 Void Walk must be cast to a corner void, costing 2 less for each unit in an adjacent square. Could be tricky if you're playing lots of other Void Walk creatures. Yeah, you could do something with it. Penitent Knights, Foulbones, Martyrs, Gossamer Ghost, the regular Ghost, and Drowned. Maybe let you know your thoughts on avatars, because how many did we get? We got 3, was it? 3 or 4? I know one of them was a duplicate. Is that normal? I thought I saw people getting a lot more. Pile of Skulls. Once on your turn, you may banish a card from a cemetery to summon. Dear. Summon a skeleton. Depends how good your skeletons are, I guess. Order the Pale Worm. Nearby sites lose ward. 3/3, yeah. Wow, what's going on with Ian Miller? Road Perdition. Genesis. Target nearby evil gains or loses 1 power. Regurgitator. 5/4. End of a turn. Regurgitator must either fill or empty its belly by banishing a dead minion, or emptying its full belly by shooting a projectile that deals damage equal to the eaten minion's power. Okay, a slightly different pudge. Almost forgot the name of the pudge. Raise Militar, Imp, Search Party, and a Vast Desert. 2 packs remain. Ugh, can't even get into this pack. Bits of pack everywhere. Heretics of Seth. Genesis, still a nearby ward. Why can't I read, man? Searing Truth. Target player draws and reveals 2 spells and takes damage equal to the higher mana cost. Depends if we can stack our own deck as well. We might be able to make use of that. An active volcano with a big face on it. Does nothing to threshold. Okay. A Baden Succubus. Once on your turn, lure target adjacent. Enemy minion to take a step closer. When it arrives, it takes 2 damage and you heal 2, and of course it's water. Anything else? More Broms. Hopefully there's a super secret Brom Curio. And hopefully we find it. But there was nothing else there. Final pack of the box. Very long and enjoyable video. Toolbox! Something new again. Sacrifice. Cast an ordinary spell from your collection. Order of the Sacred Oak. 3/3. Ward. Nearby sites can't be destroyed by your opponent. Okay. I have seen a bit more land destruction. Well, everything's new. Holy Water. Tap. Sacrifice Holy Water. Throw a projectile. If it hits a minion, banish it. If it's evil, ward if not. Final hit is a unique. Endless Fence. Minions can't enter the span. This span of land from the void. Okay. Another card we hadn't seen before. Hellhounds. Any foils or curios in the last pack? No. Nothing. So, quick count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Non-foils. And 7, was it? 1, 2, or did we get 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? No, 8 and 8. 8 and 8. And we did get a unique of Shoggoth. Good start. We could do better. Plenty more uniques to come, I hope. See you in the next one.